Again, so today we're starting a new chapter on chapter 4, and it's all over graphing linear equations. What does linear mean? Say it. A straight line. So we're going to learn how to graph equations that will be straight lines. Okay? The first thing we're going to do, this is why today's lesson is so easy, is we're going to review stuff about the coordinate plane, how to graph a point, and look at how to come up with your coordinates from an equation. So this is called a coordinate plane, yes? What is this called right here? This is the x-axis. It is super important that you understand everything I'm going over right now. What is this called right here? This is called the y-axis. And right here in the middle is called the, what is this called? Starts with an O. The origin. So I'm going to draw a little line out here. This is the origin. It has coordinates of 0, 0, because the x is at 0 and the y is at 0. A coordinate plane has 4 quadrants. Y'all hear the word quad? Quad means 4, right? Quadrant 1 is always in the top right. That is where your x's are positive and your y's are positive. We use quadrant 1 the most. Why do y'all think we use it the most? Because they're both positive, and in real life, a lot of stuff that we graph, like the cost for gallons of gas, it's all going to be positive because the gallons have to be positive and the cost has to be positive. So a lot of times you'll just have a zoomed in quadrant 1 when you're graphing. Make sense? All right, this is quadrant 2. So it kind of goes counterclockwise looking at how they're labeled. What are the x's over here?
Negative.
The x's are negative, but the y's are positive. All right, and in quadrant 3, everything is negative. The x's are negative and the y's are negative because I go left and down to get there. And then in quadrant 4, and we use Roman numerals to talk about our quadrants. In quadrant 4, the x's are positive, but the y's are negative. So if I ask you where a coordinate is located, if it's anywhere here, it's in quadrant 1. If it's anywhere here, quadrant 2, here 3, here 4. But if it falls on the x-axis, you would say the location is on the x-axis. Does that make sense? It's not in a quadrant. It's on the x-axis, and same for if it falls on the y-axis. Okay, it wants us to give the ordered pairs of each point. We don't have to do all 3, but let's please remember that in an ordered pair, it's always the x value first, comma, and then the y value. Yes? And this is why we have been working on that graphing assignment, because this is super important for what we're about to learn. So I'm going to zoom into number 1. So the way I would do this is I would say I need a point for A, for B, for C, and for D. So let's look at A. To get the ordered pair, simply look at the x-axis and ask yourself, where is point A on the x-axis? This is 0, this is negative 1, so this is negative 2. So the x value is negative 2. Does everybody understand how to do that? So now you go for the same point, point A, where am I on the y-axis? Negative 3. What quadrant is it in? It's in quadrant 3. Okay, point B. What ordered pair is point B at? 0, comma 0. I'm on the x-axis at 0, and on the y-axis I'm at 0. Okay, let's look at C. A lot of people struggle with C. And the reason is they want to say this is 3, 0, but that's wrong because the x value right here is where? Where am I at on the x-axis? At 0. So 0 has to come first. And on the y-axis, I am at 3. All right, and D on the x-axis, where am I at? 3. And on the y-axis, where am I at? 2. All right, y'all do number 2 on your own, and don't worry about doing number 3. Check it with mine when you're done. Make sure you got them right. Check them with mine. How did we do? Good? Good, because that's 6th grade stuff, right? All right, moving on to quadrants. You should know what quadrant something is in without even looking at a graph, based on if it's positive, positive, and stuff like that. So this is positive, positive. What quadrant is this on? Quadrant 1. Positive, positive? Quadrant 1. Positive, negative. Quadrant 4. 0, 5, is it in a quadrant? No. Where is it at? If you need to, go pretend like you're going to graph it. If I would go to 0 and then I would go up 5, I am on the y-axis. Negative, positive. Quadrant 2. And guys, if you don't know, you can literally look at these signs that we put. Okay, the next one, negative, negative. 3. 5, 0. X-axis. Guys, and if you're ever confused, if you look right here, the 5 is X. That means it's on the X-axis at 5. Okay? All right, a negative, positive. Quadrant 2. All right, flip to the back. They want you to graph this function, and we know it's a function because they're telling us it is, but it's really just like an equation, right, that happens to be a function. And they're giving us a specific domain. Y'all remember hearing that word, domain? Domains are the, say it, y'all have it right, x's. The domains are the x's. So those are my x's. So I need to make a table. My x's are going to be negative 2, negative 1, 0. That should be a comma right there. That's a typo. 1 and 2. And they want you to use those specific x's because they told you. Now, I could go do every single one of these in my head or in my calculator. 2 times negative 2 minus 1, put the answer. 2 times negative 1 minus 1, y'all agree with me? But I'm going to teach you that your calculator will actually do all of this for you. So, everybody go to your calculator and go to the y equals button and push it. You're going to type in the function, the equation, 2x minus 1. And don't forget, you have to push the x button, not the multiplication button. Everybody got it? What does it say above graph in blue? Isn't that what we need, a table? Yes or no? So hit second graph, and there's your table. You can use your arrows, because right now, see how I'm at 0? I want to go to what? So I arrow up to -2, and my y value is -5. I go to -1. What's my y value? -3. 0, -1, 1, 1, and 2, 3. Easy? Yes or no? So all you have to do now is graph the points. Do not, are y'all listening to me? Do not connect the dots, and there's a very specific reason. They only want you to graph with this domain. That means if I connect the dots, I'm saying that I can use 1.2, 1.3, and it doesn't want me to. It only wants me to graph these dots. All right, so here we go. -2, here's 0, yes? So I go to -2 on the x-axis and down 5. Put a dot. -1 down 3. 0 down 1. And it should make a straight line. If it doesn't, you've messed up somewhere. And I'm done. Do I connect the dots? No, because it gave us a specific domain. If it did not tell me this domain, then I would graph a straight line that keeps going forever and ever. But it wanted me to specifically graph this. Are y'all good? All right, that's it. That's how easy this is. So this one, I'm going to make a table. And my domain is -4, -2, 0, 2, and 4. I'm going to go to y equals in my calculator and type this equation in. Am I going too fast or y'all okay? So I put in negative and then alpha y equals to get my fraction, 1/2. Arrow out before I push in x, plus 1. Now where do I go? Second table. Now I need to arrow until I see -4 as my x value, and -4 has a y value of 3. -2 is 2, 0 is 1, 2 is 0, and 4 is -1. Y'all do understand you could have done these, though, by hand, right? It's just faster to do it in the calculator. And then you graph it. So go to x-axis to -4, up 3. -2, up 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, and 4, -1. Again, should it make a straight line? Because we're learning about linear functions. If it doesn't, then you messed up somewhere. Do y'all have any questions? Do y'all feel like we need to do these two at the bottom, or do y'all feel like you've got it? It's pretty easy, right? All right, let's flip to the back, and let's do the word problem. Does anybody want me to do another example? Y'all feel okay? All right, let's go to the word problem then. The word problems are super easy. All you're going to do is make a graph. So it says the table shows the number of hours worked and the pay in dollars. They even labeled the coordinate planes x-axis and y-axis for you. And what quadrant is this? Because we only need positive. So they zoomed in on quadrant 1. What does part A say to do? Graph the data. So that's all you have to do. So start graphing it. So on the x-axis, I go to 1. And then I'm going to go to where I believe $7.50 would best be represented, which would be somewhere like in here. Do y'all agree? All right, then I'm going to go to 2.15. Then 3.22.50. 5.37. 8.60. Okay, and now you are going to answer part B. Do y'all remember functions from the first 6 weeks? It says, does the graph represent a function? A function means for every x, there can only be one y. Remember, the x's cannot repeat. So if you need to write that down, function means the x's cannot repeat. Did any of these x's repeat?
No.
So is it a function?
Yes.
And in specific, it's a linear function, yes? Did it make a straight line? Yeah. So yes, it's a function because the x's don't repeat. I will pass out the assignment. Okay, so on this assignment, you're going to do the entire front and the entire back because it is so easy. So for 1 through 3, all you're going to do is write the ordered pairs for each point. For 4 through 9, there are 2 directions, so you better listen. What's the first direction? Plot the, then what does it say? Describe the location. That's where you're putting if it's in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4, or x-axis, y-axis. So let's do number 4 so y'all make sure you understand. I would plot the point. Notice that the y is 3 and it's counting by 2, so look at where I had to put it. So my x is here at -4, yes. If I go up 2, where would 3 be? In between 2 and 4. I would label that this is point A, and I am going to describe this by saying it's in quadrant 2. Easy? All right, at the bottom, 10 through 15 wants you to graph the function and identify the, guys, that's the part you have to do before you even graph, okay? So you have to make a table, and this right here is your range by putting those y values, yes? All right, what are the x values they want me to use? -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Do you have to do these by hand, or can you use your y equals button? All right, so I'm going to go to y equals. I mean, probably I could have done these in my head pretty fast, but whatever. Because I'm just adding 4 every time. So -2 is at 2. -1 is at 3, 0, 4, 1, 5, and 2, 6. So if you make this table, you're taking care of the range because the x is the domain and the y is the range. Thank you. Now all I have to do is graph it. Am I going to connect the dots? No. And that's it. Do not connect the dots. So that's how you're going to do 10 through 15. Then 16 through 18, super easy. It says, without plotting the point, tell whether the point is in quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4, and explain your reasoning. All you have to say is it's positive, positive, so it's in quadrant 1, right? Okay, and then the word problems, guys, please, they're so easy. All you got to do is graph the information and answer a question. Super easy, yes? All right, get busy.